In this video, we are going to learn how to make a box and whisker plot. So in order to do that, we need to know some definitions. So first of all, we are given a data set, and what we're going to do with that data set is use these definitions to make a box and whisker plot. So we have quartiles. Those are the values that divide a data set into 4 equal parts. You have the upper quartile, which is known as quartile 3. That is the median of the upper half of the data. Then we have quartile 1, which is the lower quartile, and that is the median of the lower half of the data. Then we have median. And we've found medians before. That was part of our mean, median, and mode. So we're just going to find the median here for a box and whisker plot. And the median is also known as quartile 2, and it is the median of the entire set of data. Then we have the interquartile range, which is the difference between the third and first quartiles. So an example of a box and whisker plot is below. The reason why it's called a box and whisker plot is because you have this box and then you have whiskers on the side. You have these line segments, which we're going to call whiskers. So a box and whisker plot is made up of a 5-number summary. So we're going to talk about what that is. A 5-number summary is this lowest data point here, that's going to be the min. And then your highest data point is the max. So that marks the beginning and the end of the box and whisker plot. Now, how we get the box, that is created by quartile 1, quartile 2. A lot of times we refer to that as just the median. We just talk about it as the median. And then quartile 3. So we create the box by knowing what quartile 1 is and making a point there. And then quartile 2, the median, and then quartile 3. And then we create a box with those 3 data points. The whiskers are created by drawing a line segment from quartile 1 to the min. And then quartile 3 to the max. Notice how the box, that box right there gives us kind of a visual representation of the interquartile range, because our range is from Q3 to Q1. So now, given a data set, we are going to make our own box and whisker plot. So looking at example A, we have data here. We have crops harvested in the US. So we have 10 years worth of data. You have all these different amounts of acres of crops that have been harvested. So you are going to order the data first. That's going to be our first step here. So looking at this list of numbers, I see 303. That is the smallest one. So we're going to write that down first. To help keep track of the numbers you already used, you can cross the numbers out. Don't darken them out, but cross them out. So you have 303. 307 is the next one. And then we are going to order all of those using that same method, writing down the next biggest number and then crossing it out. Okay, so I went ahead and ordered these numbers from least to greatest. So if you were doing the same, your numbers should look like my data set does here. So the next step in making a box and whisker plot is we need to find the 5-number summary. So we need to find the min, quartile 1, median, quartile 3, and then the max. The max, was coincidentally already written here, 321. That's the biggest number. And then the min, we can find that by looking at the smallest number. So we're going to leave quartile 1 and quartile 3 for the end. We're going to find the median first. The median is the middle data point. So if you have an odd number, you can just count towards the middle. If you have an even number, you're going to have to count towards the middle from both sides. So we have 10 years here. That means 10 data points. Half of 10 is 5. So we're going to count 5 towards the center. So 303, that's 1, 307. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But because we have an even number, we have to count towards the middle from both sides. So 321, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 314, the average of 314 plus 314, that's our median. We'll take, if we take 314 plus 314 and divide it by 2, you will end up with 314. So we're going to write that down right here. So 314 is our median. And then quartile 1, and that is the median, the middle of the lower half of the data. Well, our median is right here. So that means we have to count halfway in between the bottom 5 data points. So if we count inside, we have 5 data points here. You count 1 from the left, 1 from the right, 1 from the left, 1 from the right, and you get quartile 1 to being 311. Do the same thing with quartile 3. Quartile 3 is the upper half of data. So that is everything above 314. So we're going to count 1 from the left, 1 from the right, 1 from the left, 1 from the right, and we've reached the middle, which is 316. So that is quartile 3. And now we have to draw our box and whisker plot. If you look at the number line here, we're going to start with 300 and then think about your max. Your max is 321. So our goal is to get this number line. If we're going by 5s, we could go by 5s, we could go by 10s, but we are going to go by 5s because we can make it from 300 to 325. So we're going to make our number line go from 300 to 325 with intervals of 5. Okay, so we have just created a number line going by 5s all the way up to 325. When we make a box and whisker plot, it's helpful to make the box first and then the whiskers. So the box is made up of quartile 1, the median, and quartile 3. So find 311 on your number line. And we're going to make a dot above the number line. We're not going to draw right on the number line, just slightly above. Mark that data point of 311. The median, you're going to do the same thing with. Find 314, draw a dot above it. And then 316. Do the same thing. So now that we have those 3 dots, we can create a box with them. We're going to draw a box, and then you're going to draw a line through the median. to kind of create two boxes right next to each other. And then we have to mark our min and maxes. So our min is down here by 303. So make a dot there. And then do the same thing with 321. Make a dot there. Connect your quartile 1 with your min, and then your quartile 3 with your max. So that is how we make a box and whisker plot. We are also going to go through example 2 here, or example B, which talks about percentiles. So percentiles separate data sets into 100 equal parts. The percentile rank of a data value is the percentage of data values that are less than or equal to that value. So if we are in the 80th percentile, what that means, that doesn't mean that you got an 80%. That means that you earned a score that is better than 80% of people. So that's what a percentile is. So now if we look at example B, what is the percentile rank of year 8? So since we're not on the same slide, you can look at your table, but year 8, that gave us 312 acres. So looking at your data that we have rewritten here in order, what you are going to do to find the percentile is mark where 312 is, and then count the amount of values less than 312. So that is 1, 2, 3. So there are 3 values, 3 data points less than 312. But our percentile rank is not just 3%. We are going to make a fraction and put it over the number of data values that we have. Well, we had 10 years here. So that is going to be 3 over 10. And then to get the percentage, remember that we can take 3 divided by 10 to get a percent. And if we do that, that is 30%. So the percentile rank of year 8 is 30%, which means that the rest of the years, that the year 8 did 30% better than the rest of the remainder years. So then what is the percentile rank of year 1? If you look back at your table, that is 321 acres. So let's square that in and then count the numbers that are less than 321. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there are 9 numbers, amount of acres less than 321. There are still 10 values, there are still 10 years, so we're going to have 9 over 10, which if you divide that, you'll get 90%. So, which means that in year 10, they did 90% better than the other years as far as harvesting crops. So now that we have those 2 examples done, you can try some on your own.